today I took one trade, one loser, and Zilla says that most trades today spent over 50% of the time in red. So we've been in this consolidation range with very narrow value areas here. And the last 2 days, I thought it would break out of this consolidation range to the upside, but it didn't. Just kind of broke the high and then came back in, and then again on Friday broke the high, came back in, and it did reject off the supply on Friday and came back into the range. But it is kind of going slightly upwards, so I was more bullish biased, but it was opening inside value area here. I was rejecting at H3, so I was considering value area high rejection or a value area low long. But the value area high rejection was already occurring during pre-market, so there was a high there and then a high there, which it rejected off of. So I was pretty much late to that because this was before market open. So maybe I should have considered that and tried to do a continuation short, but I just didn't think of that, I guess. I was trying to long value area low here. So I said it's a slow grind upwards right now, trying to break out of consolidation, but not really breaking out clearly. I reject a supply. It's opening up inside the range and value, so I'll have to play the extremes. So it was just value area high short or value area low long. So again, I rejected value area high in pre-market, double topped there, and then started selling off, and market opened right here, right inside the range. So because it started rejecting there, maybe I should have looked for any sort of pop to get short. But I came to trading late today also, so it was around 7 o'clock when I came, and I saw this high volume hammer on the 3 minute with a high volume hammer on the 1 minute, which also formed a RSI normal divergence here, a higher RSI, but price broke lows. So I did like that. I also liked the fact that there were buying imbalances out of here. I also liked the delta divergence on the 1 minute, and that the POC was at the lows here, and that there was another divergence on the 20 range chart. So I did like that. I like the context of RSI divergence and the high volume hammers here. So I was liking that. The only problem I had with that was, I even say it here, I think, that there was already a bunch of buyers buying imbalances over here that came in and then quickly got rejected. There's also this bearish delta divergence forming here on the CVD. So it's about to break highs here. This is before I entered. About to break highs, but price is nowhere near the highs over here. So I didn't like that. That was a bearish signal. I also didn't like the fact that it formed the hammer and then rejected right away with the delta divergence here, and then another attempt got rejected with another delta divergence. So I did not like that. I did like that it was kind of coming back into these buying imbalances and supporting, and that's why I took long. Came back here, support these delta divergences. Also over here, formed kind of a B shape and a volume tail, and then started rallying up. So I got in one contract long, but there were warning signs here with that CVD delta divergence. Now it's huge after I entered. Didn't break the highs yet, but delta is breaking high, so huge bearish divergence. I also did not like the fact that there was this trend line, and I mapped out this trend line before I entered. Wicked here, wicked here, wicked here, and I was kind of looking at this as a inverse head and shoulders. So a higher low here to break out of this trend line. The thing is, it hasn't broken out of this trend line yet, and I was entering in anticipation of it breaking out. But it rejected pretty clearly at that trend line, and it holds for this whole downtrend this morning. So now I entered long. I like how there's buying analysis that came in, but I don't like this huge buying delta up here, and then this P shape is trying to break out of here, but it's not, and it forms a delta divergence bearish and then starts coming down. So now there's a P shape here, a P shape here. I really don't like that. I said it's, oh, this was also right at the trend line. And there's a bearish hidden divergence and a 1 minute delta divergence here. So I say that this is probably a dead position here. And I should have honestly adjusted my stop loss to this higher low that I was expecting right here at around 71. And that would have been a 3-point loss, but I kept my stop at the lows just in case it wanted to come down here, get support and go back up. But considering this trend line, I mean, it should have held here. This should have been the higher low, should have been the inverse head and shoulder, and it should have broken out of the trend line if it ever wanted to run anyways. So in hindsight, I think that was the better spot to put my stop. But yeah, and then it just keeps selling off. I mean, I get enticed over here with this 5-minute high volume hammer, and then this one too. But I actually closed out of my order entry window because I knew I would get tempted to enter again. And it seems like a no bids kind of day where it's just rejecting off of this trend line, every pop getting sold into, and it looks like it's gonna, reverse, but it doesn't. It just, every pop fails. So I don't want to be part of that, and I don't want to enter before I broke out of the trend line and then retested the trend line. So I closed my order entry window and got off the screens, which I think is an improvement from what I used to do, which is I would long here, and then I'd long here, and then try to long here, and then try to long here again, and that's how I had my huge losing days. But in comparison, I think it was good management today. But again, my stop loss I think would have been better if it was over here, and then I don't think it was a horrible try, but maybe I should have waited until it broke out of the trend line and then retested to get long, instead of trying to enter long in anticipation of it breaking.